Hey, it's me, Bria, and I'm a lifestyle coach. I help moms reclaim their time and energy. Look at you, taking this moment to recharge. I see you. During the Doulas Bloom podcast, I share tools and resources with my clients and community to spend time with themselves. The key to you living as your authentic self is embracing change and having courage. Your relationship with yourself is the only true constant in life, and observing yourself throughout each season will allow you to always be in alignment with the desires of your heart. Are you interested in joining my one-on-one coaching program? You can book a sales call with me by visiting the link in the description to schedule your session today. Before we get started, I have to remind you of your influence because you are an inspiration. Hey everybody, and happy International Women's Month. I am so excited for this series. I have been hard at work all of February recording with amazing women to bring you their stories. I created the Girl Chat series not only to share the stories of amazing women, but to also create time capsules of our growth. I think it's so important for us to go back and witness ourselves. And through this series, I have created a little time capsule, not only for me, but also for the women who joined me in these chats. We get to go back and witness ourselves in these moments. And I teach my clients and my community to do this on a monthly and weekly level. And so I'm so excited to expand and grow this series as time goes on. It's going to be so interesting to have guests come back on to the series. But I'm getting ahead of myself. If this is your first time here, my name is Bria. I am a lifestyle coach. I host the Doulas Bloom podcast. I am the creator of the Doulas Bloom community, and I am the leader of the village. So I'm so excited to bring you this March 2022 cohort of Girl Chats. I have committed to doing this every year, as last year in 2021, I did a series, an IGTV series of Girl Chats, which will also be shared during this month, that has inspired me to continue to share stories and to have conversations with women about their stories and their lives and what's brought them to this point. So for the rest of March 2022, you will be getting stories from 20 plus women about their stories, about where they are right now and what has brought them to this point. And I am so excited to do this again. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who's shared so openly in this series. And I am so excited to hop right into this conversation. Clearly, you clicked on this one because something in the title or the description, or you know the person who's going to be on this chat. I just want to say thank you to everybody, and I am so looking forward to our conversation about where you are a year from now, 2 years from now. I'm just excited to have you back for another Girl Chat. But I'm going to stop rambling. I'm going to stop rambling and hop right into this conversation because it is so beautiful, and I don't take any of this for granted, and that's why I really had to come in here hot before we even got into the conversation just to share that. And I'm gushing right now, but thank you so much for listening, you as the viewer who's experiencing this conversation, this Girl Chat, and thank you to everybody who's been on the Girl Chat in its entirety. So I'm gonna stop rambling and I'm gonna let the Girl Chat go. But if you're interested in being part of a Girl Chat with us here on the Doulas Bloom podcast, let me know. You can go to the description. There's a link down there for you to join the wait list. There's a wait list, y'all. There's a wait list for the Girl Chats because so many people wanted to be a part of this, and I'm just excited because we're gonna have more Girl Chats here in the future. So if you want to be a part of the next cohort, you need to join the wait list. Okay, have these conversations, share your story, share your insights and your gems with the community, and let us know what's going on. I don't want us to hide and think that we don't, like, our stories aren't enough. Like, oh my gosh, I've learned so much from the women in my life, and that's why this series means so much to me. But again, I want to create space for you to enjoy this conversation. And again, thank you so much to everybody who's listening, who's being a part of this series. I am happy that you're here. Again, if you want to be a part of this series, you can join the waitlist. The link is down below. You can go to doulasbloom.com/podcast guest to join the waitlist. So without further ado, it's time for a Girl Chat.
It's time for a Girl Chat. Hey.
Time for a girl chat. It's time for a girl chat. Hey, time for a girl chat. Bow. Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the Duelist Boom podcast. It's me, it's Bria, and we're here for another chat, for another conversation. And today, obviously, we're doing a girl chat. And today we have one of my dearest friends with us, Bethany. So as you can tell, like, we as thick as thieves, and I am going to let Bethany introduce herself so that we can just hop right into this conversation because I'm so excited. My cheeks hurt. So hi, Bethany. Can you let everybody know a little bit about you so that we can hop right into today?
Hello. Hi. I'm so excited to be here. First off, it's so good to see you. You already know.
Yes, thank you.
North Carolina homies, period.
Yes.
Anyway, my name is Bethany Eddleman. I am currently in DC. I'm from Concord, North Carolina, and I'm one of 10 kids. I have a BFA in painting and illustration, and currently I'm in the process of getting my master's in art therapy.
Yes. We love to see it. I'm so proud of Bethany. Can I just take a moment to just gas you? Because first of all, I know we're going to talk about how we met and stuff, but I'm so happy that we got connected. And I'm a little sad that as we met, you were leaving Concord and I was just coming to Concord. But there'll be more opportunities in the future for us to connect in person. But first of all, Bethany's art is amazing. And she's beautiful. She has a beautiful soul, as you will see throughout today's conversation. But I would love for us to get into our little first impressions of each other and share the story of how we met. And shout out to Ava for connecting us.
Ava.
Ava, we're
I want to FaceTime her Ava.
Look at us, we're doing it. Oh my gosh. But no, Ava is I met Ava via Bumble BFF, and Ava and I were connecting, and she was like, "You have to meet my friend Bethany." I was like, "Do I have to meet Bethany?" And so we ended up going to, I think we went to a park one time after we went to a farmer's market. So it was good times. So first impressions, what were you thinking about me?
Well, Ava was she's like, Bethany, let's go to the park. Well, first off, we were talking about going to the park again, and I was like, yes, so excited to get out of my house.
Yeah.
Deep beginning of pandemic, and I was in that kind of mode.
Yeah.
Ready to get out the house a little bit. And it was so nice to see one of my friends from SCAD, because that's where I met her. I literally met her the first quarter of SCAD. She wasn't even in my drawing class, but she had drawing class with all of my other friends. And so that's how we connected. And we just be vibing.
Yes, creatives,
Yeah, so I was so excited when she told me that she moved to Charlotte, and I was like, what? You're in Charlotte? Let's meet up. And then so when she said that she had a new friend that she met on Bumble BFF, I was like, I didn't even know Bumble had a BFF.
Yeah, future, yeah.
Yeah. And so, but then I came there, and it was just so nice to see both of y'all, and y'all's energy together was just so interesting. I was like, this is gonna be a good time. And everything just felt kind of right. So it was nice. And I felt like it was we immediately were vibing and chilling out there in the park.
It was awesome. I remember that day vividly. It was a good time. And I just remember being like, Bethany has been in Concord. I've been here for and we've never crossed paths naturally. It took Ava she's north
Michigan or somewhere.
Yeah, in the northern part of America, to just meet you and then connect us. It's crazy how the world works. But yeah. I was just like, oh my gosh. And I just remember just admiring you so much, because I'm not super creative when it comes to fine arts, which you can hang. with the fine art people, okay? You know the people. And I'm just like, I doodle here and there, you know. I made some cool art. I made stickers. Did you know that? I made stickers.
No, but I love that.
You're gonna get one in the mail. That's why you gave me your address. So
Please send me one in the mail. I love stickers.
yeah, so I'm gonna send you a sticker, but like I just loved your art, and I just love like we connected over like gardening because like I'm vegan, and I was like, you have a garden, you and your sisters, and I'm like, can I come and just let me get my hands in the dirt? I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, but just let me play with the dirt. And so
Meanwhile, I was literally playing with the dirt while we were in the park.
oh my gosh. Okay, everybody who's listening on the podcast, like this is how it is when you're in a room with Bria and Bethany. We giggle and laugh at everything, okay? No judgment. But oh my gosh, it's just so nice to see you because I remember you saying you were leaving to go to Washington, and I was so excited for you, and I was hoping that we could see each other before you went, and then like you were starting school, things was getting, you know, life was happening basically. And so I would love to just like take this moment to like check in, like what's going on, like what's happening in your life, like what do you want to share with the people and me, and like let us know because I'm so excited. Like you're an art intern, like art therapist intern. Like tell me more about the art on the block. Tell me.
Okay. Okay. Well, so first off, let me just tell you this. Whew, that summer before I left.
Oh,
Let's just talk about that. Well, first off, I went to Turks and Caicos in the beginning of July.
Yeah, you
That was
did.
the most incredible trip ever. I've never seen water that clear, this clear.
Yeah.
Swimming in it, like it was amazing. Like you literally fly over and you see the ocean, like it's like this blue. Me and all of these things. Anyway, it's like this blue, like normal, like ocean color, right? And then you reach a certain point, and then you see it like switch, and it just is like that color.
Interesting.
Like out of nowhere from the plane. And it's just clear. Like it's so wild and beautiful. Anyway, but I had so much fun there. But that whole summer, I had 2 jobs.
Talk about it.
I was working because earlier in the year, like I was just trying to get out of my house. Like I was like, I've got to
feel
do
that.
something. I need to like, I felt kind of stagnant just a little. Because even though I was still creating things, like it wasn't necessarily like all painting. I needed a mental break. Like,
yeah.
and so I was being creative in other ways other than painting, you know, other than like schoolwork type art and all of that. And so I was like painting my house and crafting and just all the things. And then when I was doing the stuff for George Washington, because I had to have like 12 prerequisites in psychology. And so I only had 5. So I had to get 7 more credits because I had only taken one psychology class at SCAD. And so I had to take like 3 psychology classes over the summer. First off, I could only get into 2 of those classes. So that was hectic. But so I'm working my job as a sip and paint art instructor, and then also working at the children's place. And it was kind of wild because both of those helped prepare me for like where I'm at now. Even
Talk
though
about it.
It was like, oh, this is a lot.
Yeah.
And those psychology classes were intense. Like those teachers were not like letting up on anything. It was like, get this done, get this in now.
Yeah.
It like no leeway. Anyway, but I made it through and I got the grades I needed to. And I was like, yes, did it, period.
Now you're here.
I'm here. Now I'm here.
No, I love your transparency about talking about like the 2 jobs, which, you know, I can relate because when I was in school paying for tuition, you know, living in Denver, working my 2 jobs.
It's heck on wheels.
It is. And it's like, not only are you like working 2 jobs, but like you're also trying to take care of yourself in the process as well. And so it's like, and trying to have a social life and like living.
Yeah.
It's like,
Right.
I don't know, like, I'm just curious about like how, like, what kept you grounded through all of that? Like, how did you like stay calm?
It was well, I don't know if calm was the right word, but I definitely stayed grounded. I think it was just the fact that I knew I needed to get these things done because
Yeah,
it was like the step right before,
what
you
you
know,
wanted. Yeah,
it like right before where I wanted to be, like this whole time. It was like all these different things like leading up to this moment. And this is like the last thing right before I get to the school,
yeah.
like
So it
this
was like,
I've been dreaming about, like that I wanted to do art therapy at. And so it's like, I went through the process of that application. It
come on.
took me a month to do that application because I was like, well, probably about 2 months. I literally had my teachers, like one of my teachers that was a psychology teacher at SCAD, and one of my art teachers from SCAD, I had both of them write my recommendations like basically 2 months before it was due. And then it took me a while just to write the statement of purpose because it was like, how you got to get it out your head first and then
Yeah.
leave and go back and read it. And so I went through that whole process, and that was just wild. And I turned it in, and it felt so good to send that application in. I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I was like, I'm getting one step closer. And then I had to turn in my portfolio and do that interview. And that interview, it was like, especially, I think that interview is part of what it was too. I feel like that was part of the thing that got me through it too. It's just because it's like I want to get to where she's at. Like
Yeah.
interviewed me, Juliet King. She does like the neuroscience aspect of art therapy, and when I tell you, like, she's so cool. She interviewed me, and it was like an immediate click. Like it was just like I know where I'm supposed to be at. Like this is what it is.
Yes.
Like the way she was talking to me, and the way that we were able to like discuss my artwork and like all of these different things.
Yeah, she understood it.
Yeah, she understood. She's an art therapist.
Yeah. This is like, I just love seeing you be in the place where you want to be at and just like immersing yourself in those places, not taking no for an answer, checking all the boxes so you can get where you need to go, whether you like it or not.
Right.
Because it's going to be worth it on the other side.
Yeah. And it was, or it is, I should say.
It's happening. You're going through it right now.
It's a process.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then so end of July, or like middle-ish of July, they sent us emails about like places to internship with because they have a coordinator that like sends you a whole list of places, and you have to like pick out 3 places that you're interested in and put those like on your list, and then they send you that information, and you have to like directly email these different people about. Yeah, that's
They had you doing all the work.
So she actually ended up telling us that we had to pick out 2 out of the 3 or whatever. And she did them, like she just removed one, and so she did that anyway. But of the 2, it was good because I knew that I wanted to work at Arts on the Block. Like I read the description, and it was like the little like tingles in me were like,
yes,
I could feel it. It was like, this is the place, like that is the one that I want to be at, like period. Anyway, and so I had to do this. I emailed them and I was like, hi. I was like, I was recently admitted into George Washington University for the MA Art Therapy program, and we have to have 1,000 hours in the end, like in order to like finish our degree and everything. And so I was told that you guys have an opportunity for an internship and all of this stuff or whatever, the logistical things.
Yeah.
And like stuff about me and blah, blah, blah. And so then he emails me back and he was like, yeah. And we set up an interview. And then at that interview, it was like it was like sparks were flying. Like that's the best way to explain it. It was like magic. It was like magic. It was the Lord.
It was the Lord.
Yeah. Let me tell you, I got on that call. First off, when I got on there like a little bit early. And so one of the people was already on there. So I told him hello. And like we had already started having like a little bit of a conversation. Then the other two people joined in. His name is Chris, and then like Clayton and Ann, the other two that were they all came in, and we were having like conversations about like all kinds of stuff. Like they were asking me about like current job, like different situations, how I would do with different people of diverse backgrounds. And I was like, I'm already essentially dealing with or like working with people from all different diverse backgrounds, because I work at I worked at the city art room.
Yeah.
So the city art room in Charlotte essentially is like a sip and paint art gallery, but it's also kind of like a studio. And so essentially people come in and like I help them like learn how to like paint these images and stuff, which in its own way is its own form of like art therapy, because I'm guiding them through that process.
Yeah.
Also kind of like being an art teacher and a studio assistant, and so you're balancing all these different things. But it definitely readied me for where I'm at right now, like especially because I'm an assistant art teacher, but I'm also the art therapy intern. So with that whole process, it was like all of these different little like pieces of time, like within like that year leading up to school and everything. It just all got me prepared for it. But it was so interesting, like that interview, because they told me to describe myself, or like how other people would describe me, and I was like, I'm altruistic, because I genuinely care about the people around me. Like I love everybody around me, and I treat people the way I want to be treated.
Yeah.
And like I care about people, whatever. And I was telling them, that they would say that like I'm an artist, like I love to paint, I love to draw. I just love to be creative in all kinds of different ways. I'm a creative problem solver, and I'm a good helper. Like I will help people with anything. And I'm outgoing. And so I was telling them those different things. And then my dad, he walked in, and he said, Bethany, have you seen my keys? And I was like, I just stopped. I stopped mid-sentence and I looked at him like this. He was like, oh Lord, not me walking through here when I know she just told me that she was about to have an interview. Then he just goes and sits to the side, like,
Dad, what are you doing?
like, watches me while I'm in this interview. But it was perfect. And let me tell you why. Because then after a second, then they were like asking me like I said, how other people would describe me, blah blah blah. And he was sitting there listening, and then he would like chime in every once in a while. She had a 3.7 GPA. You need to tell them that, like different little things like that, parents. Anyway, but then I said, well, you know what? I said, you know what? I'm all about using my resources. So who better to talk about me than the person who raised me?
Yeah.
And so he came into the interview, and what's interesting is later when I talked to them about different things that set me apart and stuff, that was one of the things, is that like I wasn't afraid to like have my dad chime in, not to mention the stuff he said was just so sweet. It was adorable. And so he was like, I actually asked Chris later, I was like, so like I was like, by this point I know the people who y'all have interviewed and everything, like, and I know, so like why did y'all choose me? And the other lady, Anne, she's so adorable. She's like, well, I mean, they were great, but they just weren't you. And then I was like, oh. And then Chris said, was it partly because of my dad talking in the call too, and he was like, well, you know, it was your answers and everything and your energy. Like we could tell that you were like honest and kind of outgoing, and you just had like good energy about you and everything, and like were genuinely like happy and passionate and all this different stuff, you know. But he said when my dad came and talked about me like that too, since they're kind of like very family oriented, it was perfect because it just showed that, like, you know, when you have like a good upbringing, people
Yeah.
like people can tell, especially with like the way, if like the way parents speak too.
Yeah, I love every part of that story. Thank you for sharing. I really do. Like there were so many nuggets where I was like, because I'm in this space of like leaving my current job finally. And so small quiet snaps because I don't know, whatever. I'd be thinking too much about things, but I'm like in this process of being like, I want to have those moments like you had, like just like the fireworks and the sparks and the things. And it's just like, I'm very entrepreneurial in the way that I do things. And like, I feel like my sparks come from like having conversations like this and like things working out in my business. And it's just like, this is what I want to do. This is it. Like, oh. And so when I have to go to like my job to like pay the bills, I'd be like, but like for me, I really just want to work from home. And what I realize is I just really want to only talk to people that I want to interact with, not that I have to interact with. And I feel like that's how it is when you're working at somewhere that you don't necessarily love. And like, yeah, so like I feel like I'm transitioning, and like from you sharing that story with me, I'm just like, Bria, you're like 2 steps away from being where you want to be. So just keep going.
You just gotta keep going. You gotta keep
Yes. And just let the sparks fly. And like just
going.
you talking so naturally about like how your dad came into the conversation and how like that stood you apart. Like honestly, if that happened to me, I probably would have been like, what the heck is happening right now? What is going on? You need to leave. And so it just goes to show that like even a distraction or interruption can be exactly what you need in that moment to not only set you apart, but just to be like, this is my life, this is who I am, take me or leave me.
My family is something that's important to me, so there's another aspect.
Yeah. And like, oh, I just love like your relationship with your family too. And like I'm not one of 10, but I'm one of 5. Like we roll in half deep as you. But like I understand like connecting with like my sisters and like age differences, and just like still like just being like, this is my family, this is who we are, this is how we hang out. And I just love everything about you, and I'm so happy we met.
Me too.
And like, oh, it's so hard for like me to have conversations with people who like I'm really really close with, because like obviously like I'm just talking to you like I would talk to you normally, and it's just like I honestly have just like been going through it, if we're being quite honest. I've been going through it.
I get it.
And like I'm just so reminded of like, even though I'm like going through it and like things aren't optimal in the way that I want them to be, like things are still working.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's I think that's one of the biggest things that I feel like I've learned. You know, regardless of what happens, is never a wrong step. And that that's the one that
Say it for the people in the back, aka me. Say it again.
No matter what happens, it's never a wrong step.
Yeah. And that's what my business coach was telling me. She was like, Brie, you can't do it wrong. And whenever I start like being like, okay, wait, what? You're telling me I should try it a different way? It's like, I've been doing this wrong the whole time. She's like, no, it wasn't wrong. It's just you're learning. Like everything's learning. And like I like to think of things as like, if something isn't working, be grateful for the awareness that it isn't working, instead of like keep going into the same thing and like doing that for more and more years. And so that's why I was like, my kind of thing for this year is to like listen the first time. Listen the first time when things happen. And so like when something was off in my current job, I was like, I gotta go. They was like, Bria, we can offer you more money and blah blah. I said, I need to leave.
Yeah.
And so it's just like there's no wrong decision whether well, for me, I think it wouldn't be beneficial for me to stay, but at some point I would have to leave, and so why not sooner rather than later?
Mhm.
And so yeah, it's just like hearing you say that is like, thank you. Because I needed that. Like I'm not doing anything wrong. And it's all just trial and error.
Yeah. And I feel like it all comes from the fact that like we're all in like we're all in like this giant bubble of social media and everything else. And like you see everybody else who's doing
Yeah.
it, we're going here, going there, doing this, doing that, blah, blah, blah. But it's like their path isn't necessarily the same as yours.
And the pace is different.
Yeah. Everybody has a different pace, everybody has a different path. Um, some of my friends, like literally directly after college, they either had internships like with big companies, they were moving to New York, moving to other places, like all kinds of stuff. And for a second, I was kind of just like, that's wild. But at the same time, I had also planned from the jump, or like I had said to myself from the jump, that I needed to take a break. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna do a gap year. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna travel. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
The pandemic ruined that. Like, but I mean, I still traveled. Just like it was just
Not
for
as
a week.
much. Yeah.
It wasn't like for 2 months in a different country, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And still, like I'm here and I'm reaching my goals. I'm on the little step stool, like, and
Yeah.
I think about the fact that I had a low moment where I was like, I'm not where I want to be. I'm in like this weird transitional period. I'm in a feeling of in between,
Yeah.
but like I was already out of my house. I was like already doing these different things, at school, blah, 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 blah. Then I had to come back home, and I felt like that set me back for a minute. But at the same time, it was a blessing. It was a blessing because
Yeah.
I was surrounded by people who were supporting me, even in the moments when I couldn't see it. And,
No,
um,
seriously.
and that support is kind of what helped me to like get it together. And the pandemic itself, like being in the house like that, also pushed me to like go ahead and apply and get ready to do like what I wanted to do, what I needed to do, you know?
You said
Yeah.
that so beautifully. You said that so beautifully, because like just about like being in that place of stuckness, but like I feel like it's almost like,
Incubation.
yeah, like
The little
you're,
incubator.
yeah, like I'm getting ready to hatch.
Right.
I feel like that's what I've been in. And like I had this huge journaling moment. There was lots of tears, Bethany. There was lots of tears. I was
Nothing wrong
journaling
with it.
and I was like, what the hell am I doing here? Like, what's going on? Why am I still in Charlotte? I said I didn't want to be here. What is going on? And I realized that I'm in the incubator right now. And like I need to be around this like support system, and I need this moment in the incubator so I can grow. I love the way that you put that. I'm gonna use that again. I hope you're cool with that. Sprinkle some more knowledge. Yeah, it's just like I'm not like the mindset of like being stuck in like quicksand or something like that, and the mindset of like being in the incubator, still very you can't move, but very different energy. And
But
like,
we're just coming together.
yeah, one's coming together and one I'm making my situation worse. I feel like I'm drowning. And wow, thank you for helping me like
Of course. Of
break
course.
my own brain, because I needed that. I really did.
And here's the thing. My first semester of grad school, I was going through it. One of my friends actually passed away last semester, and it was in the middle of the semester and it was unexpected. It was 15 minutes before I had to go meet the like students that I was working with,
Yeah.
like that I've been working with. And I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. Like, literally, I was so shocked. It was crazy. But I kind of had to like set that aside because I couldn't let it like mess with me like while I'm going to like work with them, but it was such a learning experience because I really tried to like push up all of those emotions, and then at the end of it, like it literally messed me up like that whole week. I was like,
Yeah.
oh no. Oh no. um but yeah, and then we did like a project about invisible string in one of my classes, and it was crazy. I feel like that's one of the wildest parts about art therapy though, is that it just brings up so many different emotions so through that artwork. Anyway, that's not even what I was about to say.
It's okay. It's beautiful.
One of the things I said to my supervisor, because he was talking about how one of my art pieces that I made, it reminded him of some kind of like wheel that he had learned about when he was in art therapy school. And he was saying like where like things look like they're coming together but falling apart. And I was like, it kind of felt like that for a little bit.
Yeah.
Because like emotionally it felt like I was falling apart, but then at the same time it's like all these different dreams are being realized like at this time period.
Yeah.
And so I was kind of just like, I got to keep going, but I also needed to take a moment to just be like, I have to feel things, because if I don't feel them, it's still gonna like mess with me anyway. But the point was, when we were talking about that and I told him I was feeling like that moment later on, he told me that the biggest thing about that was in moments like that, it's just your mindset. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
It's the truth. It is the truth. Yeah, I think about like my mindset through like my military experience and like my college experience, specifically my military experience, because in hindsight, how like literally how was I doing it? But one, I was like grounded in the fact that like I wasn't the only one going through this.
Mm-hmm.
Like I literally had my people, my sisters to my left and to my right, who I was like, y'all, this is messed up, but I got you, you got me. And so it's just like, we just like focused on what would happen when this chapter like closed. And I think not to like tell people to like just avoid what they're going through right now, but it's just like everything's temporary. The good, the bad, the ugly, the desirable, the undesirable is all temporary. So like when you're really enjoying something, savor it. And when something's not going so beautifully, know that there will be a day where you're on the other side of it and this will be a distant memory.
Right.
And so I think having that mindset to like speaking to like the pieces of things falling together but also falling apart but also coming together, it's like that's what like growth is. I think about it as like a snake shedding skin. Like you gotta
like,
let
it go.
Yeah.
Emotion.
Coming out. Like you got a Diana Ross moment. You coming out. I'm gonna stick with this one. But no, that was like a beautiful gem to like kind of start to like wrap us up for our little chat today. But I would love to hear about anything that like you're working towards. Like obviously you're going to be the baddest art therapist out here on these streets.
Thank you.
Like obviously that's gonna happen. But it's like, is there anything else that you want to share, want to let the people know how they can connect with you, support you in your future endeavors, like anything?
Well,
let us know.
My Instagram handle is Bethany, Bethany with 3 Y's, 16. You can follow that one, or you can follow my art Instagram, which is Beth Eddles Art.
Yes.
My thing is just, you gotta take it one step at a time.
Amen.
And no matter what it is,
Preach.
Take it one step at a time, and things will happen. Even if you don't like the moment that you're in right now. One of the things that was wild to me was that like 2 weeks ago, because now I'm in human development, like that's like our age all the way to like the end.
Okay.
And one of the things we were talking about is like all the different stages that you're in, like at this, even just like at our age. And one of the things was literally just feeling in between. And so I was like, I just feel like that's just something for everybody to know. It's just like we're all in that moment.
At some point, yeah.
At one point or another, you're always gonna have a point where like you feel like you're in between two different things, and it's like that friction can feel so difficult. But at some point, you'll reach the end of it, and you won't be in between anymore. Things will be better, and it'll be okay.
I claim it.
Okay.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Bethany is preaching. Yes. Preach, preacher. Like, yes. That
My
was
sister
beautiful.
said that the New Year's service that she went to this year, they literally called it the end of the in-between. And I was like,
interesting.
I feel that.
Yeah, no, I claim it. 2022 is all about harvesting for me. Harvesting. Because I've been planting all the seeds, and I've been looking up at the clouds, you know, but now it's time for me to look at the ground and see what grew, you know. Can't be off in La La Land. But thank you so much for being here and for sharing today. Like, I love you. I don't know, I can't speak for everybody else, but Bria loves Bethany, and I can't wait to see you in person. Oh, thank you. I can't wait to see you soon, whenever soon comes. But I love you. I will always support you, and I can't wait for us to like make art together. I feel like we didn't get to bring like art supplies the last time we went to the park, but like next time you'll get to see like my shoddy art skills. But
you can do something like you can make things like this.
oh, you're hilarious. Do you see what she's showing right now? She is hilarious. Okay, fine. If we're showing art pieces,
do one like this.
Let me grab this one so I can show you.
Zen tangles. They're just such easy little things that you can make no matter where you're at.
See, okay, I got into a watercolor moment, and I made this. Okay, like mine looks so amateur compared to yours, but I'm sharing my art right now, Bethany. But it's a watercolor moment, and like when I was painting this the first time, I didn't really see what I was like drawing, but like to like explain my art to you, I think of like this little corner as like a child, and like this as a mother, and like the energy exchange between a mother and their child. And so I didn't know that that's what I was doing, but like when I took a step back and looked at it, I was like, this is beautiful. But now I like hold it up because like I want to be a doula and support moms in that way at some point in my journey here and my time on earth. And so that's a reminder of like that work that I want to do.
I love that. I think what's so beautiful about that one is just like the feeling of reciprocation. Like as you see it, you can see like the balance. Like there's there's like that whole in the middle, and it's like, but you can see that they're both giving to each other.
Yeah. Yes, we shared some art at the end of today's episode, and I hope that you all enjoyed that. Bethany and I talked about a lot of stuff, and I want to give you some time to reflect and maybe even add to the conversation in the comments. So you all can share there if you have anything you want to share with either of us, and take some time to reflect on whatever's coming up for you. I will have some reflection prompts on the screen if you're watching on YouTube, and if you're listening and on the podcast, there will be some reflection prompts in the description, you know, per usual. But the next 3 minutes are for you, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye, everybody. I hope you have a great day. Bye. Hey everybody, I really hope you enjoyed today's girl chat. I loved having these conversations, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy tomorrow's episode as well. But before you go ahead and click to the next girl chat, I want you to share your thoughts on this one. So you can go to the comments and share your key takeaways, what gem resonated with you, and just let us know your thoughts. And so, yeah, we want to keep the conversation going. We want to keep the girl chat going, even though it's over. But you can start the conversation down in the comments if you're watching on YouTube. And if you are listening on the podcast, I want you to go ahead and take a screenshot of this episode and tag us at Doulas Bloom on Instagram and let us know your thoughts. Same thing, keep the conversation going, share it with a friend, let us know your key insights, your key takeaways, and yeah, I want to know your thoughts. How did you feel today's girl chat went? What resonated with you? So yes, that is what I want. And then I will see you tomorrow. For the next girl chat, and I'm so excited about this series. So excited about it. So but I will see you tomorrow for the next girl chat, and yeah, I love y'all. Bye.